Okay, Thursday, 12th of June 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Thoughtful Thursday, philosophy and musings from life. Understanding your phenotypic limit, or your phenotypic maximum. Now, this is a nice little phrase from biology talking about the absolute maximum that a certain system, animal for example, or biological extension, machine, company, country, individual can do. The phenotypic limit. For example, there's a limit to how far I can reach, my arm span. Okay, it is however far it is, okay, in centimeters. But if something was fundamentally different, I was a foot taller, for example, half a meter taller, then proportionally speaking, my arm limit, my reach would be further away. It would be further. Fair enough. Biologically speaking, proportionally speaking. But that means that something fundamental has to change, meaning something out of my control, meaning the genome, meaning the genetics. Fair enough. Now, we can expand that to our lives and to our businesses and anything of the sort to say there's a natural limit to, like with the arms, there's a natural limit to how far we can reach or we can do or our capabilities, unless something fundamental changes. We learn something fundamental, we change something fundamental on the balance sheet, the business model changes fundamentally, adopting new technologies, for example. Something fundamental has to change, like my height, getting an extra foot, for example. And the more profound that change is, the more has a ripple effect throughout the entire system, the animal, the business, the body, etc. And in life, we need to know our limits. Very important. I remember having an interesting conversation once with a client, and I asked the person, how many steps can you take before you get out of breath? And they were a bit adamant. Well, why do we need to know exactly? And I responded, because as we know our limits, we know and we can enumerate it and quantify it. We know what to work on. We know where our limits are. We know what we can and can't do in life. Life, business, money, you name it. The more we can define and point to our limits, our strengths and our weaknesses, the better we can navigate the world, meaning the fewer mistakes we'll make. Kind of goes into the realms of humble bragging, where I know where my limit is and I'm close to it, at the same time not overstepping the boundary to build or to risk disappointment, but at the same time I know where the maximum level of hype is, as in kind of like narcissism, like the ability to brag without going over the top. Very powerful. So as we learn and understand things, understand more of the world, society, anthropology, psychology, technology, certain orange technology, and we apply it to our life, our phenotypic limit increases, so to speak, in terms of, to follow the analogy again, our arm span reaches further, we can go further away, for example, because we know things that are fundamentally changing our attitudes, our models and understanding of world, our priorities, our values. The more ideas we take in, and by chance, the more fundamental those changes are in our lives, our phenotypic limit, our strengths and weaknesses increase. They get wider. We can do more stuff. And maybe even our weaknesses decrease because the strengths can balance them out or compensate, things like that. But the underlying principle here, we could say, is to learn, increase our skills, be wiser, faster, stronger, smarter. So our phenotypic limit, our strengths, our maximum can increase. We can do more. We can reach for more things further away. To follow the analogy. That's powerful. Because really, we don't want to be stagnant. We want to keep growing in life. Always keep learning and expanding and doing more and growing. So let's have a look. So limits. So there could be anthropological things, cities, the civilizations, a small town, untapped cultural potential, new ideas, resources or systems. Just like at one point, oil was not used and it was ignored, but as mankind used that technology, it took it to the next level, the next range. It'd be like nowadays saying, I'm going to start a business. without using the internet. It would be considered absurd. And there's certain technologies out there that are all the hype. Certain orange technologies that people are using, and it's changing the phenotype of their business. The phenotypic limit is increasing, meaning they can reach new markets, new total addressable markets, create business models that in the past were not possible, were unfathomable, were unthinkable. Now, over the next 12, 18 months, it'll be exponentially more possible to make it real. Many geniuses, leaders, or creators may never have emerged because their environment blocked their potential. Wow, interesting. Just imagine in 1914, 15, 16, the people who could have been future artists, for example, movie producers or actors who died in the conflicts 100 years ago. And we need to keep learning, to push the phenotypic limit, challenging, testing, learning, understanding more of the world. Very important. And then even on a wider scale, mankind, as I mentioned with the internet and the oil, would have reached a phenotypic limit as well, and things would delay us and hold us back. War, poverty, inequality, ignorance, things like that. We'll put a natural limit. I did a video about this, the Peter Principle. And then we could say, the more we optimize everything, our environment, scenario, technologies, ideas, mental models of reality, the better. The better we can perform. The easier we can glide through life, the further we can reach. Powerful, powerful stuff. So it's like saying that your genes are the ceiling, the environment decides how close you get to it. Powerful stuff. Yeah. But always be learning, testing, pushing, having discipline, going beyond the comfort zone. Powerful stuff. I noticed that with my Spanish, for example, on a rolling 6, 12, 24-month basis, my Spanish has taken leaps and gotten better. My Spanish compared to 6 months ago is noticeably better. 6 months ago, a lot better. 2 years ago, wow, night and day. Anything beyond that is just even more so. That's powerful. That means that my phenotypic limit, when communicating in Spanish, has only gotten stronger. And what does that mean? More skills, more talent, more opportunity. Opportunity for what? Well, that's endless. What can language be used for to create and enable? Many, 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 many things. There we are then. More potential in life. Our limit, the limits of success or potential has increased. Powerful stuff. A powerful way to live life. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.